I'm Mark Scherer. I'm the CEO and founder of Encompass Life and the host of the Wellness Revolution podcast. And what we're here for, what the Wellness Revolution is about, is talking with people who are in the healthcare industry and who are making a difference, especially with new cutting edge techniques. And today on the call, I have Cedric Bertelli, and he's are you the author, one of the founders of the
Founder.
Emotional
Yep,
Health Institute?
correct.
And he has offices. Let me see if you just told me Spain, U.S., and Japan.
So US, France, and Japan. Not
Yep,
Spain yet, but who
not
knows?
Spain yet. I knew you were okay. So, and Cedric is here to speak a little bit about what he does and a little bit of the system, and so you get to know how we'll get to know you with Cedric today. So, Cedric, tell us a little bit about yourself. What had you get started in this journey that you've been doing for 20 years? You said now.
Yeah. We started a bit less. 2007. That's when I started. So over 10 years. Over 10 years.
So, what motivated you to get started in this, sir?
Well, first of all, Mark, thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate being here and the conversation. What started me, I think it's a combination of different things. You and I, we talked a bit earlier, and my grandfather was a great influence in what I'm doing in observing how people from his generation after World War II had a capacity for resilience. And I always wonder how resilience took place for these men, as it's different from us. That was one influence. The second one was I used to work for the Ritz-Carlton hotel company. I was a director of restaurants here in California. And I had the opportunity to manage a lot of people, about 250 people in my team. And quickly I could see that you don't manage people in this position, you manage their emotions.
Mm.
So I became quite interested in understanding the emotional dynamics in between people, toward what clientele they thrive, how they work in between. So seeing how emotions lead and create all the dynamics in our life. And then personally, I was dealing with a lot of self-directed anger, depression, anxiety. So I wanted to get out of this funk. I was
Mm.
uh, most of the time, and I'm a very pragmatic guy. I come from the country, and I don't the how can I say that, the dynamic, the paradigm that you always have to talk about your problem in order to resolve them did not resonate with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that something different could happen. It's everywhere in the world, right? Any other mammals do not hold on to trauma. So
Uh-huh.
why do we have to as human beings? So
Right.
that's what created this interest of mine into emotion and understanding how emotions are made, and using this understanding to resolve debilitating emotional.
Huh. Interesting. We do something similar here. We, rather than trying to change thoughts, most modalities, you got to think positive thoughts that don't think negative thoughts. And whenever I was studying in that modality, it was like all of a sudden I had one more voice in my head trying to manage all the other voices with. So it just added another layer up there. I'm
Yeah,
going, like, oh, it's like herding cats. So
yeah.
I said, there's got to be an easier way. So same thing here. We've figured out a way to adjust body chemistry, which is basically emotions or feelings. And then once we do that, the thoughts change immediately. So much easier.
And agreed 100%.
Yeah, so
I
much
think there's
easier.
a lot of congruency in what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. Really interesting. And your grandfather. You said you had a big got deal with your grandfather too. My grandfather too. He was a man of few words, but
Same here.
when he spoke, I was like, huh, there's something different about this guy.
Yeah,
And I remember
yeah.
one of the things he said a long time ago when I was a kid. There'd be some people who would just talk a lot, and my grandfather would just look at me and go, "You know what?" He goes, "Empty cans make the most noise." Yeah,
That's wisdom.
yeah, like, huh, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. My
so
grandfather passed away last year. He was 101.
wow,
And so that's a guy who lived through World War II, and he used to work in the woods, so very physical. And then he's one of those guys who used to work in the vineyard on tractors, spraying very dangerous, pesticides,
Chemicals, right?
smoking a cigarette without any kind of protection. It's just a different generation.
Yeah. So
Not
he,
saying that it's good to smoke or to spread pesticides. That's not what I'm saying. But what I say is when you have the right disposition of spirit, right
uh-huh.
disposition of mind, your body can grow, and your mind and your emotional state can go through a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. There's documentation. You ever heard? You're familiar with scriptures? I'm sure. Yeah, the
With
Bible.
what? Sorry.
Are you familiar with the Bible, scriptures, or anything?
Yeah. Yes, I am. Yeah.
So, the Apostle Paul could drink poison and transmute poison. So, yeah, I agree. When our body is healthy, when we're not, let's see how to say this, when we're not harboring toxic emotions, then our
Yes.
body's not trying to detox from that,
Mhm.
and it's able to heal itself and be able to handle the things that are coming in. You can, if you eat bad or whatever, like that doesn't have as much influence on you as maybe you think. It's the toxicity your body's already producing on its own.
Correct. And it can be linked to, there's a lot of toxifying factor out there: anxiety, fear, all the pressure that we receive constantly. There is a beautiful study that came out last year, I believe, in France, by a guy called Boris Cyrulnik. He's in his 90s, I believe, and he's a neuroscientist, a psychiatrist. And he based his whole life on understanding the process of resilience. And he studied in Romania, South Africa, South America, Africa. And it's very clear for him that resilience cannot happen if you're not surrounded by love. The process of resilience can happen the best when you're surrounded by love. What does that mean? That means having a family or friends that are nurturing to you, people that you can talk to, people that makes you feel safe. So your body is in a space where it can detoxify by itself, so to speak. But the environment is very important as well.
Huh. I think I found mine when everything in my life went to hell, is when I think I found it. I had a tough childhood. I had a lot of tough things in my life, and I believe I found my strength inside all that pain.
And what was going on around you, if I may ask, when you were able to find the strength and come up?
Yeah.
What
What,
was
what,
going on around? Did you have friends? Did you have people who kind of supporting you, or were you just on your own?
um, when I had gone through a divorce,
Yeah.
um, I had a friend of mine who worked for me who embezzled a bunch of money at the same time. I had gotten into an accident. I couldn't walk,
Mhm.
and basically I went through it on my own. I started asking questions but I do agree with you about love, but I went straight to the source of love rather than to
Yeah.
people around me.
It's St. Francis of Assisi who talk about going through the very low, right?
Yeah,
You can't reach the light by just trying to go there. You have to go through the very low,
yeah,
and through the low, then you reach the light. Yeah.
yeah. Who's that lady who did Harry Potter? What's her name?
Um,
Yeah,
but I know exactly what obviously we about, but I can't recall her name.
yeah. Whoever her, J.K. Rowling.
That's right.
So she said, "Rock bottom is the firm foundation upon which I rebuilt my life."
It's a good expression. I should not. I remember that. I
Yeah, me
remember
too.
that. Yeah.
I remember, and when I saw that, I thought I was already at rock bottom, but there was a few more levels down. So I
Good thing
got
you
down
found
to,
them.
huh?
Good thing
Yeah,
you found them.
oh my gosh, me too. Me too, guy. You were talking about anxiety a while ago.
Yep.
I found there's one word that's the direct correlation between one word and anxiety. You know what that
What is
word
it?
is?
No, go ahead.
Not.
Not.
Not. The
Tell me
more
more.
the more not somebody speaks in their life, the higher the level of anxiety they have.
Ah, yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I don't like this. I don't want this. I don't like this. I don't want that. And when they're speaking from the place of not, there's a direct correlation between not and anxiety and or worry.
It's a good way to do it. It's a good way to say it. I often tell my client in classes, I said the first step to feeling better is to accept. Accept what's happening. Doesn't mean that, but just accept what it is.
Yeah,
You have a job, okay,
yeah,
accept so you can adapt to what the reality is. No hope. You did hope what you deserve. Like all this is, in a way, is futility. Accept what is. Okay, that's what it is. Adapt, and from this place, act.
Faith with action is life. Faith without actions is death.
Yeah, that's right. Intensity of life. A lot of anxiety and depression come from the fact that we become impassive, and we're not intensely alive. We're not intensely intensively active, as you said, in our life.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw an interesting video on Facebook or YouTube one day. A friend of mine said it to me. He said the greatest feelings we can have as humans. Sex is an 8 out of 10. Psychedelics is a 9 out of 10. He said the only thing that was a 10 out of 10 was a conscious use of our co-creative gift.
It's good.
Yeah, I thought, so, So you put the 8 and the 9 together, you got 17. That was a joke. That was a joke.
But no, I think the post is correct in many ways.
Yeah, yeah. And if you can't accept where you are, make it okay that you can't make it okay that you can't make it okay. Something.
That's
Just
right.
get back to it was who's that? Greg Braden talks about you got to get to 0 point. Place of neutrality.
That's right. And people are looking for happiness, right? We want more. We want happiness. But at the end of the day, living just for happiness, it's not so sustainable, and it's not attainable. In my book is joy, right? Being content, be joyful. That
Peace.
for me is the baseline. Yeah, that's right. Peace.
Peace. Or one of the worst. I was in my office one day about 2 years ago, and I had a brand new feeling come in. I was like, "Man, what is this feeling?" And when I asked the question, I got this response. I got the word in my head. It said reverence, and that's the first time I had ever thought of a feeling called reverence, especially when I was contemplating where I am and going, "Wow, I'm really happy. This is really love my life now." And I just started to feel a new feeling, and I said, "What is this feeling?" And I heard the word in my head. It said reverence, and when I heard that word, I just started crying because no one taught me reverence about life as a kid.
Yeah.
It's like life is like a turd on a bicycle tire. Same old crap keeps coming around again and again. You know, life's hard.
So it doesn't.
So, and the word when reverence came in, I was like, whoa, this is new feeling. Cool.
Yeah. And once you experience it, then it's always here as a reference.
Yeah. Once you can experience it and language it.
Yeah.
Language it. Yeah.
Name it.
Gotta name it. This is cool, guy. I appreciate our little banter here. This is fun.
Yeah. I did too.
So you've been doing this for, you said, how many years again?
Over 10 years.
Over 10 years?
I started in 2010, 2009, 2010, and I founded the Emotional Health Institute with Dr. Jacques Fumex in 2019 to be able to share the work that the methodology that we crafted, called Emotional Resolution, or EmRes.
And so did you develop the process, or
Correct.
You developed the process yourself?
Correct. Together with Jacques Fumex and another gentleman called Didier Godot, and all the people. It's really a teamwork. It's several people putting their own experiences, their own expertise, their own vision. And I guess that's why it's, I don't think you can do anything by yourself, right? It's an exciting adventure because it's several people putting their mind together, their experience, and coming up with something that is very simple, very pragmatic, and that works beautifully.
Awesome. Truth is forever simple. Lies are forever complex.
Yep. That's true.
So what was your background that had you develop this?
Well, it started with an observation from this gentleman called Didier Godot. Now he lives in a place called Martinique, in a small island by Madagascar. He was a physical therapist, and he noticed that if you follow the physical sensations in the body when you have the emotion that you experienced changing.
Well, can you repeat that one more time, please?
Absolutely. If you follow the physical sensations, if you feel consciously the physical sensations in your body during an emotional difficulty, the physical sensations change in the body. And after they change, the emotion you were feeling is forever changed.
Give me an example. Well,
Yeah, absolutely. So that was the first. I can tell you why and how it happens. I can tell you exactly what we do and how we resolve emotional difficulties in 2 minutes. Well, maybe 4.
Right.
You see, the brain is a wonderful machine to predict. The brain constantly predict. That's how we stay ahead of the game. We don't, most of the time, we don't react. We predict based on past references. We can see that before drinking a cup of coffee, for example. You have a cup of coffee, you have a sensorial experience, and after that, before you drink any cup of coffee for the rest of your life, you're going to anticipate to predict what sensations you're about to have. With any food, for example, it's the same with emotion. What you and I were aware of right now is about 2,000 bits of information processed at a speed of about 150 miles per hour. That's what we're aware of. At the same time, our subconscious has a potential to gather 400 billion bits of information and to process it at a speed of 150,000 miles per hour.
Right.
We understand today that in order for us to have an emotion that keeps on coming back, such as anxiety, depression, something that we don't want, right?
Right.
At the beginning, it's always the same type of event. It's always an instant of trauma.
Right. Yep.
Different trauma, but an instant. And what is a trauma? It's an instant that holds too much stress, physical or emotional, for us to take on when we live it.
Right.
That's a trauma. Now, during an instant of trauma, there is a natural mechanism happening, which is dissociation. If the cognitive is already formed, the prefrontal cortex is already formed, there's dissociation. If the trauma happened in utero or at birth or during the first year of life, the cognitive is not formed, so we're just a sponge, basically. But that's just for thoughts. When there is trauma, there is dissociation. The cognitive that is used as a filter is gone. It's normal. It happens so we don't suffer too much during the trauma. Now, when the cognitive is not there to filter information, the subconscious takes over, just like the black box of a plane, and is going to gather all the informations available through the 5 senses in a non-linear, non-logical way at a very, very high definition, a definition that we can't understand cognitively. 400 billion bits of information per second. We don't realize what it is. Dissociation, subconscious takes all the information available through the 5 senses and the physical sensations that we're feeling at that moment as well. Exactly like if you eat a food. Later on, when the brain recognizes one or several elements that was present during a specific trauma, your brain is going to predict what physical sensations you're about to feel in your body. It's going to generate those physical sensations. We call that interoception. We know that we feel an emotion because we feel it in our body. We know that we feel an emotion because we have physical sensations that we conceptualize based on our environment, our history, our education. But an emotion is just a conceptualization of physical sensations. Those physical sensations that we feel are outdated prediction from the brain. There are sensations that your brain is predicting that you're about to feel. The reason why we keep those emotions going in our brain, sometimes for a lifetime, is because we never let the prediction plays out until the end. We constantly control the prediction. Either way, we, do positive thought, we try to understand, we breathe, so we calm down the sensations, we try to shut down what creates the emotion. But we always, from the time we're about 4 years old, control the emotion that we feel because we've been taught to do so by our parents, educators, friends, whatever. the problem. Every time we control this interoceptive prediction, you confirm the loop that this emotion is still accurate. What we do with emotional resolution, we develop of work that allow this interoceptive prediction to play out until the end without any interception or interference from the client or from the practitioner. At the end of the prediction, the brain is expecting to be hit by some kind of danger. When you, at the end of the prediction, nothing happens. You're safe and sound. Your prediction is going to be updated instantly and permanently. That's it.
Cool.
Basically, that's what we do. Now, the difficulty with human beings is we create emotions upon emotion, right? We feel something and then we feel guilt about it or shame about it. So the whole process of EmRes, emotional resolution, is to be able to also isolate those guilt, shame, all those emotions that have been time,
Yeah.
and to resolve them as well. Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, they're the glue that holds a pattern into place.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Guilt, shame, blame, guilt, and hate hold the pattern in place.
Yep, that's right.
The more you hate something, the bigger it gets. The more embarrassment you have, the bigger it gets. If a kid comes up, Mommy, I'm so sorry. I promise I'll never ever do it again. I'll bet you $1,000 they're going to do it again in 24 hours. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. So emotions are not that, they're complicated, of course. You know,
Right.
it's complicated. But when it comes when you start to demystify what an emotion is and vulgarize what an emotion is, when it start to take off the whole Freudian, the whole romanticism about emotion, then you can start looking at them as something that are just not congruent with the current reality. How can you help the brain to have a congruent response to what, instead of reacting from past traumatic events?
Right. Yep. Yeah. We do something similar too. We have a way to, most people talk about forgiveness, that's a powerful path to do, but there's really, you got to do deeper than forgiveness, because forgiveness just kind of gets somebody back to, okay. The person's got to be able to find the blessing in the trauma. Until they do that, they're still bound to it. So, well, how does your business model work?
Well, at the Emotional Health Institute, we're teaching therapists, coaches, HR professional to do the emotional resolution work, to do the EmRes work. And this is how it works, so to speak. We train practitioners learn the work and apply it with the clients. We work with the school districts, we work with Coast Guard, so it depends. So that's what we do. We create educational programs, pedagogical programs to teach people how to use EmRes with the clients or their patients.
So do the people work under your umbrella, or are you? No. So
we're a nonprofit. We're a nonprofit.
Oh, you're a nonprofit.
We're a nonprofit. So when people take the education, get the education, then they're on their own. They do whatever they want.
Gotcha.
Of course, we offer continuous education to make sure they stay, on top of the game.
So how long is your curriculum?
So the curriculum is 4 modules, and it's done usually within 6 months.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and you can go to emotionalhealthinstitute.org if people are interested. They can see the curriculum and what it's all about.
And is it live classes or recorded classes, or a combination of both, or how does the curriculum work?
Yeah, great question. It's all live, but all via Zoom. Since the pandemic, we used to do all the classes in person, but since the pandemic, we never got back to person. So all the classes are done live. In Zoom, there's a lot of exercises, a lot of practices. There is education and theories and all that, but a lot of practices.
So, and your class day, when you're taking 6 months, is it full days to do it, or is it blocks of time? Or what's your class?
Blocks of time. So it's 4 modules. First module is 3 days, 8 hours a day. After the first module, people already know how to do sessions, solutions for the obvious emotion, the anxieties, the anger, the things that are in people's awareness. Then there is a second module only 3 hours. It's all case studies based on what the clients did. They have to do 20 sessions. Based on the sessions and the difficulty they encountered, we're going to do case studies and understand where it blocked and how to coach them. Then module 3 is 2 days, 8 hours a day. Now that's when we become changed from being a technique to a craft. We're going to teach people how to isolate conscious fears. So several techniques are put into place so people, therapists or coaches or whatever, can help their clients to isolate unconscious fears, the fears that create the dynamics in our life, and to resolve them. And then the last module is one-on-one with the trainer. It's a certification. And that's the participant has to submit a session that we review, we debrief the session, and we teach new tools as well during the certification.
That's cool. So you said it takes about 6 months between everybody to do it between the homework and the class time. You only have about a week or two of class time. But I guess there's
Yeah,
homework.
that's all right. That's it. It's a total of say 3, 4, 5. It's about 7 days of class.
Gotcha.
And then a bunch of sessions in between, so people practice and face difficulty. And it's when you face difficulties that you learn. So we can understand what the difficulties is and coach them. And
so how many practitioners do you have involved doing your classes now?
wow, that went through the classes by the hundreds.
How
Currently
many? How many?
Several hundreds went through the classes. Oh, wait, several hundred. And now currently certified, that means that they are certified and keep on doing the continuous education. We have about, I think, 40 people right now. I believe between 30 and 40. And some people, drop the certification 1 year and then come back the next year. So it always value. And that's just in the USA. In Japan, I think we have 80 currently certified people. And France, I'm not sure right now. I don't have the number.
Gotcha. Cool. It's very interesting, sir. Very interesting.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. And so if somebody desires to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do so?
The best way is to go to emotionalhealthinstitute.org, or they can also type EmRes, EmRes.com. It goes to the same place.
Awesome. And can they email you directly, or you prefer that they just go to the website?
It's better to go for the website, complete a form, and myself or somebody from the staff will answer them like within 24 hours.
Awesome. Very good, Cedric. So it's been a pleasure having you on. Thank you for what you're doing and for really taking a stand for making it short, fast, fun, and easy for people to go through.
That's the idea.
For people to be able to make shifts in their lives. Thank you, sir.
That's the idea. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Bye.